Commission of Inquiry on Enforced Disappearances submits final report to Chief Advisor, Professor Mohammad Yunus. Political motives, the main reason behind enforced disappearances. Nomination papers of 1,842 candidates valid for 13 parliamentary election, says Election Commission. Appeals can be filed from January 5 to January 9. LNG shipment worth 490 crore taka arrives to ensure stable gas supply. Judicial activities of Supreme Court resumed after vacation break. Newly appointed Chief Justice Zubair Rahman Chaudhry asks for everyone cooperation to reduce case backlogs. Conducive environment for free and fair elections prevails in the country. Information and Broadcasting Advisor urges media to play a role in strengthening publicity campaign regarding all aspects of referendum. Government imports food items from wherever available at a lower price, says Food Advisor. After taking away Nicolas Maduro, U.S. President Trump announces U.S. to run Venezuela. Venezuela's Vice President acting as the interim president. And BCB announces 15-member squad for T20 World Cup. Bangladesh team not to travel India due to security risk. Requests ICC to relocate all matches to venue outside India. Assalamu alaikum. Welcoming you all. News at 10. I am Nazneen Khalik Zubair. Those were the headlines. Now move on to the details. The Commission of Inquiry on Enforced Disappearances submitted its final report to Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus, stating that enforced disappearances in Bangladesh were largely politically motivated and carried out with involvement from the highest levels of the immediate past government. The report, titled Unfolding the Truth, a Structural Diagnosis of Enforced Disappearance in Bangladesh, was handed over at the State Guest House, Jamuna, this afternoon. Commission President Justice Moinul Islam Chaudhry, Members Justice Mohammad Farid Ahmed Shibli, Mohammad Noor Khan, Dr. Nabila Idris and Mohammad Sajjad Hussain were present. Industries Advisor Adilur Rahman Khan and Principal Secretary to the Chief Advisor Shirajuddin Mia were also present. According to the Commission, a total of 1,913 complaints were submitted to the Commission. After verification, 1,569 complaints were identified as enforced disappearances under the Commission's definition. Of these, 287 cases fell into the category of missing and dead. The Commission members stated that evidences collected during the investigation proved that enforced disappearances were mainly politically motivated crimes. According to the report, 75% of the victims who returned alive were leaders and activists of Jamaat Shibir, while 22% were leaders and activists of BNP and its affiliated organizations. Among those still missing, 68% were leaders and activists of BNP and its affiliated organization, and 22% were leaders and activists of Jamaat Shibir. The report said evidences were found indicating direct involvement of the then Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, her Security and Defence Advisor Tariq Ahmed Siddiqui and then Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan in high-profile disappearances. Notable cases cited include BNP leaders Ilyas Ali, Humayun Qadir Chaudhry, Salahuddin Ahmed, Chaudhry Alam, Jamaat leader and former Brigadier General Abdullahil Aman Azmi, Barrister Mir Ahmed bin Qasim and former Ambassador Maruf Zaman. Commission members stated that in many cases, the former Prime Minister herself was the direct order giver behind disappearances. They also said information obtained regarding the rendition of disappeared victims' secret transfers without legal process to India indicated that these actions were carried out on orders from the highest levels of the government. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus thanked the Commission members for their work and described the report as historic. The incident that you have described, the word used in Bengali in Poishachik, these incidents can be described with that word. You have seen those atrocities through talking to those who have gone through these atrocities, through their experiences. This work could not have been completed without strong morale. He further said that the report documents how institutions were destroyed with maintaining the appearance of democracy. This report is a documentation of the kind of demonic behavior that can be perpetrated on people by twisting all the institutions of Bangladesh and wearing the grave of democracy, he said. It shows how low people can go down, how demonic and disgusting they can be. Those who committed these terrible incidents are human beings like us. They are living a normal life in society after committing the most outrageous incidents. As a nation, we have to come out of such atrocities forever. We have to find a way to remedy this atrocity so that it does not return, he added. The chief advisor called for the report to be made available to the public in simple language and instructed the Commission to submit necessary recommendations and proposals for future action. He also directed that locations of extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances be mapped in addition to the Ainaghar. The Commission said its investigation found that the highest number of killings and disappearances occurred in the Mulchware River in Judicial, where hundreds of victims were allegedly killed and dumped. Evidences were also found of bodies being disposed of in the Buriganga River and in Munshiganj. The members of the Commission expressed special thanks to the Chief Advisor, saying the work would not have been possible without his firm stance. They also urged the Chief Advisor to reconstitute the National Human Rights Commission, continue the work initiated by the inquiry, and ensure protection and justice for the victims of enforced disappearances. After scrutiny of the nomination papers by the returning officers and assistant returning officers in all 300 constituencies, a total of 1,832 candidates have been declared valid for 13 parliamentary election. Nomination papers of 723 candidates have been rejected on different grounds. According to a notification of the Election Commission issued today, candidates collected a total of 3,406 nomination papers in 300 parliamentary seats. Out of those, 2,568 nomination papers were submitted to the returning officers. Following scrutiny, the Election Commission declared 1,832 nomination papers valid and rejected 723. The scrutiny process of free nomination papers submitted for former Prime Minister and BNP chairperson Begum Khaleda Zia was concluded without verification due to her death. In Dhaka region, out of 442 nomination papers submitted in 20 constituencies, 309 were found valid and 133 were rejected. In Rangpur region, of 279 nomination papers, 219 were valid and 59 were rejected. In Rajshahi region, of 260 nomination papers, 185 were valid and 74 were rejected. In Khulna region, of 275 nomination papers, 196 were valid and 79 were rejected. In Borishal region, of 162 nomination papers, 131 were valid and 31 were rejected. In Mymensingh region, of 311 nomination papers, 199 were valid and 112 were rejected. In Faridpur region, of 142 nomination papers, 96 were valid and 46 were rejected. In Sylhet region, of 146 nomination papers, 110 were valid and 36 were rejected. In Kumilla region, of 357 nomination papers, 259 were valid and 97 were rejected. In Chattogram region, of 194 nomination papers, 138 are valid and 56 were rejected. Meanwhile, appeals against the returning officers' decisions regarding acceptance or rejection of nomination papers can be filed with the Election Commission from January 5 to January 9. Another consignment of liquefied natural gas LNG imported from the international spot market has arrived in the country to ensure uninterrupted gas supply to industries and power plants. The cargo, supplied by Singapore-based company BP Singapore Private Limited, reached the floating terminal of Accelerate Energy Limited at Moheshkhali in Cox's Bazar of 28 December. The government spent 490 crore taka to procure this LNG shipment. Rupantaria Prantari Gas Company Limited Deputy General Manager Mohammad Nasruddin said the imported LNG will be used to meet the country's natural gas shortfall for the current month. Under long-term agreements with Qatar and Oman, Bangladesh currently imports 56 LNG cargoes annually. However, to meet rising domestic gas demand and keep industrial production running, the government has continued importing additional energy from the spot market. The Energy Division said the price of this cargo is quite reasonable compared to the prevailing international LNG benchmark JKM index. The newly appointed Chief Justice Zubair Rahman Chaudhry has stated that the Supreme Court administration will work to reduce case backlogs through technological development and its effective use. He also sought everyone's cooperation in this effort. He made these remarks this morning at the reception organized in his honor by the Supreme Court Lawyers Association and the Attorney General's office, held in courtroom number 1 of the Appellate Division. Judges of the Appellate and High Court divisions of the Supreme Court as well as Supreme Court lawyers were present at the reception. The Chief Justice said that the security and access to justice of judges, lawyers and litigants who come to the Supreme Court seeking for judgment will be ensured. Information and Broadcasting Advisor Sardar Rizwana Hassan today said a conducive environment for a free and fair election prevails in the country. But a group is attempting to create an alternative narrative by citing law and order concerns or claiming the absence of an electoral atmosphere. She made the remarks while responding to journalist questions at a view exchange meeting organized by the Secretariat Reporters Forum at the Secretariat. Mentioning that only a month remains, the advisor said the government is working to finalize the Broadcasting Ordinance and the Media Commission. Both would help ensure journalist protection, she added. Rizwana Hassan urged the media to play an active role in strengthening publicity and awareness campaigns related to the referendum. Responding to a question on the exclusion of Mustafizur Rahman from the IPL, the information advisor said it would have been better to keep sports confined to the sporting arena. However, the legal aspects of the IPL broadcast issues in Bangladesh would be reviewed, she added. Youth and Sports Advisor Dr. Asif Nazrul has said that 18,000 young people will be trained under the freelancing training project. He made this remark today at the inaugural ceremony of the 3-month-long training course for the project title, Creating Employment Through Freelancing Training for Educated and Job-Seeking Youth in 38 Districts of the country. Held in the conference room of the Ministry of Youth and Sports at the Secretariat, Dr. Asif Nazrul said that freelancing holds significant potential for the educated youth of the country and that efforts must be made to expand it further. He explained that the advantage of freelancing is that not one has to chase after traditional jobs. There is no major investment required to start a business or earn money. The advisor added that many people in Bangladesh have huge opportunities to earn money through freelancing by connecting with various organizations in Europe and America. He further noted that countries like China and India are aggressively taking advantage of this opportunity. As of January 1, 2026, the country's total stock of food grains including rice, wheat and paddy stands at 20,27,420 metric tons. Food advisor Ali Imam Mujumdar has stated that this is the highest food grain stock in the past 6 years. He made the remarks while speaking with journalists at the Secretariat about the country's food stock situation. Ali Imam Mujumdar said that in trade with India and other countries, political consideration are set aside. The government imports from wherever products are available at the lowest prices. The food advisor also noted that the current harvest collection campaign is still ongoing and collection has already exceeded the targeted amount. As a result, the overall food situation in the country is currently satisfactory. Ali Imam Mujumdar further stated that all government food distribution programs are being carried out regularly and effectively, and the government will continue to take all necessary measures to ensure food security in the future. Despite dense fog and beating cold since early morning, people from all walks of life continue to visit the mausoleum of 3-time Prime Minister and BNP Chairperson Begum Khaleda Zia at Ziauddin in the capital Sher-e-Bangla Nagar to pay their respects. The white panel of Dhaka University teachers paid tribute by placing wreaths and offering Fatiha at the mausoleum this morning. After paying the homage, white panel convener Professor Dr. Murshid Hassan Khan said that Begum Khaleda Zia had left the country leaving it without a guardian, adding that she bore no hatred or malice. Bangladesh Open University Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. A.B.M. Obaidul Islam, National University Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Mohammad Lutfur Rahman and other leaders on the white panel were present on the occasion. Since morning, various social, cultural and political organizations have also been paying tribute at the grave of the late BNP chairperson, Begum Khaleda Zia. Dhaka University Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Niaz Ahmed said that former Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Zia's janaza has turned center of unity of entire Bangladesh. He said this while presiding over a mourning meeting arranged in memory of Begum Khaleda Zia at Dhaka University Senate Bhavan today. The DU Vice Chancellor also said that from being a housewife to taking on the responsibility of running the state, Begum Khaleda Zia's life was multifaceted. She has played an important role in every sphere: family, social, economic and political. Paying rich tribute to the uncompromising leader at the commemorative meeting, the Dhaka University Vice Chancellor mentioned that Begum Khaleda Zia is deeply connected with the soil of this country. University Grants Commission Chairman Professor Dr. S.M. Faiz also remembered Begum Khaleda Zia at the meeting. Besides, former Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University Anwarullah Chaudhry, eminent economics Dr. Mahbubullah and Dhaka University Pro VC Professor Mamun Ahmed spoke among others. Now international news.